The Doosan Bears take on the Kia Tigers, 4 a.m. Eastern start time. The Bears are the $1.50 favorite. Total's 10.5 juice to the over. The Tigers are plus $1.15. And if you like Kia to keep this one close, they're minus 138, catching the 1.5 on the run line. And following Saturday morning's sports wagering action, I improved to 8-2 in my last 10 extra daily pick tier package plays on patreon.com/BrockPage. And of course, that's a website where I sell sports picks beginning at just $1.99. We're also 8-5 with a push in our last 14 Better Friends tier package picks as well. That package only costs $6.99. For more information about getting access to these premium sports picks, the link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, the Tigers got thumped by the Bears earlier this morning by the final of 6-0. They also dropped 3 out of their last 5, including another shutout loss, that time to the Samsung Lions by the final of 5-0. Kia lost 3 out of their last 4 series. They're taking on a Doosan team who won 3 out of their last 4 themselves, including a 7-2 victory over the SK Wyverns. Their 7-4 record in their last 11 is good for 64% during that short span. The Bears have given up just 2 runs per contest on average in their last 4. And when it comes to the total in this one, the Bears' last 4 straight stayed under the total of 10.5 runs. 6 out of their last 8 also stayed under the 10.5. Meanwhile, on the Kia side, 4 out of their last 5 stayed under that number themselves. Give me the Doosan Bears winning this one outright and the under 10.5 in that game. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for Sunday's KBO baseball action, the Korea Baseball Organization. I'll tell you what, it's been a lot of fun handicapping these KBO games. Certainly going to miss them in a couple of months. We might have to keep them in the rotation. Who knows? But anyway, before we dive into some more free content here on YouTube, I just have to quickly remind you once again that after Saturday morning's sports wagering action, we improved to 8-2 in our last 10 extra daily picks on patreon.com/BrockPage. We're also 8-5 with a push in our last 14 Better Friends tier package selections as well. If you want some more information on how you can join in on the action, the link for that site is in the description section below. We'll bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. Moving on, the Hanwha Eagles take on the LG Twins, 4 a.m. East. The Twins are minus 250, totals 8.5 juice to the under. The Eagles are plus 175 to win it. And if you like Hanwha to cover, they're minus 125 on the run line. And following this morning's loss, the Eagles have officially made it to 30 games under 500 for the season. They've lost their last 3 straight and scored only 2 runs in those 3. They also lost 5 out of their last 7 and averaged only 2.5 runs per contest during that span. With this morning's loss, Hanwha has now dropped 9 out of their last 10 series. Their 17-47 record is good for a win percentage of just .266, and last place in the 10-team KBO. They're taking on a Twins team who are now 4 games above 500 after winning 3 out of their last 4. They gave up just 4 total runs in those victories. LG's now just 4 games behind the second-place Doosan Bears in the standings. And when it comes to the total in this one, 3 out of the Twins' last 5 stayed under the total of 8.5 runs. 5 out of Hanwha's last 7 on the other side also stayed under the total of 8.5. 11 out of their last 16 also stayed under that number. Give me the LG Twins minus 1.5 and the under 8.5 in that game. Next contest, KT Wiz versus the NC Dinos, 4 a.m. Eastern first pitch. The Wiz are minus $1.10. They're minus $1.25. Total's 10.5 flat. The Dinos are catching even money for a win. They're also minus 160 on the run line. The Dinos beat the Wiz earlier this morning by the final of 6-1. They've only lost 3 out of their last 12, and they've held their opponents to just 3.5 runs per contest during that span. The Dinos are currently 22 games above 500, and they have a win percentage of .683. That's good for first place in the league, as they have 7 fewer losses than the second place Doosan Bears. Now, the Dinos have also won 8 out of their last 9 series. The Wiz, on the other side, they've been victorious in just 1 out of their last 4 themselves, and that includes a 7-3 loss to the last place Hamwi Eagles. And despite a nice little hot streak over the past couple of weeks, the Wiz are still in the bottom half of the standings in 7th place, and they find themselves only 2 wins better than the 8th place Lotte Giants. Now, total-wise, the Wiz last 5 straight stayed under the total of 10.5 runs. The Dinos, on the other side, saw 4 out of their last 5 stay under that number themselves. Give me the Dinos plus $1. Great value there. And the under 10.5 in that contest. Next matchup, it is going to be the Kiwoom Heroes taking on the SK Wyverns, 4 a.m. Eastern first pitch. The Heroes are minus 150, totals 8.5. The Wyverns are plus $1.20 to win it. And if you like SK to cover, they're minus 143 for some run line cash. The Wyverns embarrassed themselves this morning again, scoring just 1 run and another loss. SK's dropped 3 out of their last 4, averaging only 1.6 runs a game in those losses. The Wyverns are 24 games below 500, and they have a win percentage of only .313. That's good for second to last place in the standings. Even worse, SK is just 3 games ahead of the last place Hamwi Eagles. The Wyverns lost 10 out of their last 11 series. They're taking on a Kiwoom squad who's 11 games above 500 themselves, just 3 wins worse than the NC Dinos in the standings. Kiwoom's won 3 out of their last 5, with 2 of those victories coming against the first place Dinos during that span. Now, total-wise, the Heroes, 3 out of Kiwoom's last 4 got over the total of 8.5 runs. 13 out of Kiwoom's last 17 also got over that number. Meanwhile, on the other side, 9 out of their opponent's last 14 got over the 8.5 runs themselves. Give me the Heroes minus 150 and the over 8.5 in that game. Next and final matchup, Lotte Giants versus the Samsung Lions, 4 a.m. East. The Giants are minus 120, totals 8.5. Lions are minus 105. Lions improved their winning streak to 3 games after this morning's 5-2 victory over the Giants. Samsung's also won 4 out of their last 5, averaging 8.3 runs per contest in those 4 victories. The Lions are currently 4 games over 500 and find themselves just 3.5 games behind the second place Doosan Bears in the standings. And with this morning's victory, Samsung's won their last 2 straight series, along with winning 6 out of their last 8 series as well. They're taking on a Lotte squad who's lost 3 out of their last 4 themselves, giving up 39 total runs during that span, just shy of 10 runs per contest on average. They've been victorious in just 6 out of their last 15, and they have dropped to 3 games below 500. That puts them in 8th place in the KBO standings. Now, total-wise, 3 out of Lotte's last 4 got over the total of 8.5 runs. 5 out of their last 7 also, in addition to that, got over that number. Under the number. Samsung, on the other side, 3 out of their last 5 stayed under the 8.5 themselves. Sorry about that. Give me the Lions minus 105 and the under 8.5 in that game. All right, shout-outs from our Patreon platform. Shout-out to Andy Moats, Andrew O'Neill, Kelly Johnson, Darren Windsor, Apurva Dungana, Jake DeLuca, Alan Kennedy, John Kirkland, Robert Morelli, and August Weens. Next, from our Instagram platform, shout out to Joe720. Shout out to Tattoo Tom. That's right, Tom Kaselica. Shout out to Jimmy from Ghost Picks ATS, who, like I said earlier, he was rocking the official Brock Page Productions t-shirt in his video this morning. Shout out to James Blackline, Anderson Cottram, Bubba Jonesy, Keel Champs, David Aloye, Mitch Austin, and Keaton Johnston. And then finally, from our YouTube platform, shout out to Zaka, Slaka, Robert S., V-Berry 1923, SOP Striker, Bo Dunn, Valentine Anakili, Ralphie Portuando, Ryan Thomas, DK Hater Gaming, and last but certainly not least, got to give a shout out to the Ding Man. That's right, I'm talking about C. Dinger. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. But most importantly, guys, I got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Saturday or Sunday to you, depending on when you're watching this. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.